two kids from Queens, cut from a different cloth. Now, joining forces, helping you to elevate your personal brand. Yeah, I'm talking about Nicky and Moose, bringing you a never-before-seen perspective into the mindset, the mentality, the behaviors, the driving force, but more importantly, the stories behind the people and brands that you know and love the most.
What poppin'? I can't even talk now. Was poppin'. Welcome, Nicky and Moose. I'm Nicky. That's Moose. What's up, Moose?
What up, y'all?
And welcome to the YouTube Livey. And first and foremost, shout out to everybody who's watching this live, the replay, however you're watching or listening this. I can't even talk. Listening to this. What is wrong with me today? This is crazy.
Take some warming up. You know, you gotta take some warming up.
Right. Anyway, of course, the new episode 72, not just dropped today. Okay. Fire episode. We say this every episode, but it's a fire episode. The flow
biased,
was fire.
You know? We're slightly biased. Yeah, we just kind of,
it happens.
We like it.
It happens. Yeah. I liked it. Moose liked it. I really liked the after show. If y'all part of the after show, but yeah, go check that out. Moose, how are we feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. Can't complain. Things have been busy. We were just.
I was like, yeah, you can. Absolutely, you can. What are you talking about? That's a lie.
Well, no,
okay,
you
can't complain. No, you're a liar.
Right.
You can.
Right. Yeah. No, things have been good, man. It's the good complaint though. It's the complaint that involves being busy. It's the complaint that involves learning a whole lot of stuff. You know, I chatted with Carl briefly today. He was like, "Yo, do you recognize the type of experience you just acquired is gonna make you like a monster in the industry?" And I was like, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I definitely paid the price, to acquire it, but no, it's been good. So I'm excited. You know, I kind of have learned. Listen to this, y'all. I have learned from my previous mistakes. So I'm getting ready to do things a lot differently this time around.
Shout out to Isaiah early with the super chat.
Come on.
Hold on. I brought you back. Yeah, that was early. Shout out to Isaiah. And for those people who don't know what super chat is, it's like a tipping system for the creators. So if at any point we add value to your life, just hit that chat. There's a little super chat icon. You can do that. You get a sticker, whatever you want to do, right? Man, let's have this conversation real quick, right? And people may be having this same situation. I never, before we get into our conversation, I never felt like I needed a website. Never felt like it, right? Didn't want to do it, all that great stuff, right? Never thought it was a point. Felt like having a landing page to where I need them to go, keep it moving. I'm this little small fry. We're Gucci, right? Okay, well, now we're at a point where I need a website, right? So me and Carl were talking because this is Moose's season of being busy. So I try to give him final products and not thought process right now. He's dealing with a lot, right? So me and Carl are talking, boom, boom. And I'm like, well, look at these two individuals. We have to find a happy medium between the both, right? And one of them was Lewis Howes from a podcast standpoint. His website's fire, right? And he's like, well, now we have to do some research and figure out what's the best formula. And I'm like, I'm doing research on everything. I feel like I'm doing research on YouTube. I'm doing research on Instagram. I feel like I am a international researcher. I don't know how I feel about this, right? It's not my thing. So for those people who are in the process of what is my website supposed to look like, how is it supposed to feel, all that great stuff. Yeah, I feel your pain. I feel your pain first and foremost. And please, do not get stuck on one person and copy. Figure out how it is your swag. Get inspired. But yeah, it's a pain. Shout out to Nick, who's going to be doing my website, though. He just left a super chat. You hear me? I'm just saying. It is. But anyways,
good stuff.
I had to let that out. I don't know why. I just felt like I had to let that out because it's one thing on the list. Like I was telling Isaiah, being a content creator has a lot like a speaker, right? Mm-hmm. Because someone asked me like, yo, do you have a 15 to 30 second reel? Like a content reel. I said, what? No. I didn't think I needed one. Nope. Well, now I do. And that situation, I didn't. Now, I'm so trained on, okay, what do speakers need? I'm like, oh, it's the sped up version of this. Mm-hmm. Oh, they don't need 2-3 minutes. They need 15 seconds. Okay. Isaiah, we need a 15 to 30 second content joint. He's like, oh, of you speaking? No. Of me doing content. What are you talking about? So it's a lot of stuff that I don't know if I'm super interested in, but I'm going to do anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shout out to that one person who like made the lines clear though. Said, not that influencer. Feel me? Like that one person who made the lines clear. Shout out to that person. You know what I'm saying? That guy right there.
That guy whose season's very busy right now.
Very busy right now.
And when I say I need you, when busy mode, I'm like, damn it.
Happens.
I gotta.
Happens.
It's all good.
It happens.
It's all good.
It happens. Oh man, gotta love it.
Anyways, Moose, what are we talking about?
All right, so man, some time back, I had something happen that kind of inspired this concept or this concept. I'm like trying to say content and concept at the same time.
I got it.
It inspired this concept, right?
Okay.
And more than anything, it was like a learned lesson. I was like, oh, that's why this is happening. Mm-hmm. Long story short, I was thinking of service providers.
Yep.
And for the most part, service providers are in the business of providing services that come easy to them, right? If you're technically in the business of providing content right now, why? Because content comes easy to you. Mm-hmm. I am in the business of providing, call it business development, consulting or advising services, training, whatever. Why? Because to an extent, although I have to think about it or prepare it, it comes easy to me. Some of you who are artists, musicians, painters, you're in that business because it comes easy to you. So when something comes easy to you, it's also very easy to undervalue. It's also very easy to overgive. And it's extremely easy to not think about how you charge or monetize that thing, right? Because it's just like second nature. You're so caught up in doing it that you don't ever think to say, well, let me kind of clear up the blurred lines between when it's free and when it's paid. Right. So I wanted to speak around the concept of content, but it's really focused and centered and can especially help business owners that are service providers. Product owners are slightly different in this concept because it's a physical product, right? Like if I were to be the maker of these AirPods, it's pretty self-explanatory. When I give you the product, you pay me. That's how it works for the most part, right? There are some unique cases to it, but I just want to focus on content creators and service providers for this one. So anyway, sometime back, I was helping someone with things that I provide that came easy to me. And I didn't make anything of it. It was just like call, pick up the phone, answer the questions, reach out, help out, that kind of thing. And then the roles flipped. It was me now in need of their service or their help. So I reached out Say, hey, so at this point, boom, boom. I was like, okay, cool. Well, this is what it's going to cost. I was like, oh, interesting. I didn't get mad because it helped me exploit a gap in my process, which is I didn't clean up the lines between what I do for free and what I do for a cost.
Right.
And I was like, man, how many people are out in the industry right now who are so passionate about building a following, building their business, creating content, putting things out there, and they know that one of the secrets to doing this successfully is to do things for free, create content for free, give away some of your best teachings for free. Just put it out there consistently. And we're taught that message heavily, which is a great strategy nonetheless. I'm not downplaying it. Like, I think it's actually brilliant because for someone who doesn't have a proven brand name or product line or whatever the case may be, you need to do those things to gain the attraction.
Right.
But if you're not clear on what is the difference between what you give away for free and what you charge for, I can almost guarantee you're likely to be out of business in 2 to 3 years, or you're going to keep working another job to keep fueling this passion of yours. It's not, it's like almost, it never becomes a business at that point. It's just a passion. It's something that you're really excited to do. So I was like, okay, let's talk about it, because I remember it must have been 3 years ago, and you said it like in conversation casually, but it never clicked to me. Like I said, this happened to me probably like a year ago, like this example that I'm talking about, probably like a year ago, where I was like, oh, now I know why you said that. And you said something along the lines, and we were just talking general, not specific to content, but I do want to talk about content first and then service and business side of it. And you said, if you reach out to me, or if I come across your social media page and I just comment on it, what I think about it, because it was on my time, cool. I'm not going to charge you for that. But if you reach out to me, right, and you ask me to do it on my time, that's a cost.
Right.
And I breezed right over that. I was like, oh yeah, no, that's cool. And it didn't hit me literally next to like a year or so later, where I was like, oh shoot, you have clear boundaries on what is free and what is paid.
Yeah.
And the creator community and the service providing community at large needs to start getting clear on what their boundaries are on what is free and what is paid. So let's talk about it, man. Talk to us about that, because again, you're in that space now, content creation, boom, 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 boom. But yo, what's the fine line? Like, maybe there's some criterias, maybe there's some things that you consider, some that are tangible, some that are intangible. Because like, I can think about some scenarios where, yes, this is something that is paid for the general public, but there's a specific type of person or people that get access to it for no cost because there is monetary value that can be accounted for in a different way. So like I said, I don't want to sound too sophisticated with it, but just simply that, like the difference between paid and when does free become paid?
I could give, my examples as far as like what's free and what's paid, right? So coming from a person who truly believes in adding value on social media, not for the sake of like bait or anything, but that's just how I am. And because I really love and enjoy what I do. Anything I do on social media is free, right? Check it out for free. There's no cost to it. There's no pressure for a cost. My lives, these lives, it is what it is. Like, it gives me a platform to talk how I want to talk, do what I want to do, right? Now, it's funny. I did a like Q&A while I was walking, because there was a nice day in Virginia, right? It was like 68 degrees. It was great. So I said, yo, boom, ask anything you want. And so there was somebody who was like, yo, can you check my page out and give me feedback and this, that, and the third? And I said, this is where I set my boundaries as far as I can give advice all day if you ask a specific question. But now I have to get off of what I'm doing, go find your profile and look at it, assess it, and then come back to you. That's too many steps that requires a one-on-one. And it probably isn't a long one-on-one, but it requires some type of payment, because it wouldn't be fair for myself as far as spending my time, and two, for those who have paid for one-on-ones. It's just not fair, right? And also, when you don't set clear boundaries on what's free and what's paid, people will take advantage of you and still not execute on the things that you spend time on.
Oh, shoot.
You know? So you could give them all the game because you're like, you know what? This is easy for me. I could do this. This is fine. 9 out of 10 times, they're not doing it. They'll do it when they're ready. When you put a price to it, there's a little bit more pressure. Like, I can't just give money away and not do something. There's some people that it doesn't hurt. That's why you got to come up with a price tag that actually allows people to move a little bit faster. Push them like, oh, snap. If I spend this, I actually got to listen and I actually got to do something. So when we're talking about free and paid content, I always go, free content is tips and mindset shifts, okay? Something that's going to get people to do a few things, feel warm and fuzzy, like, oh, snap, and it builds your credibility, shows who you are. And then the mindset shift is because when they're getting ready to pay for something, they have to be in a certain kind of mindset to get to that next level, right? So you have to change their mind on the free content rather than spending the time when they're paid and they're already in the program, because then that will reduce the risk of, oh, this program doesn't work. Well, you actually wasn't really prepared.
Yeah.
You wasn't ready. But you came into this program, but you didn't have the right mindset. So it's actually your responsibility on the free content to change people's mindset to get them ready for the paid content. Now, the paid content is going to be more of the organization of your thoughts and your expertise, as well as a systematic way from step 1 to step 10 of how to get to something, right? Whether it is something that makes them more money, saves them more time, gives them confidence, makes them feel accepted, whatever it is, you're taking them from one space to another, and people will pay for that. People will also pay for feeling included, which is like a community, right? So if you can feel normal while trying to grow, people will pay for that spot because there isn't that type of environment in the freeway. You look around, whether it is your neighborhood, whether it's your friends, whether it's what you're trying to do, sometimes that's not available. So there will be a community of where you will feel accepted and normal. And sometimes that does take a little door entry, right? So that's a paid situation. Everything else is free game. Everything else that you want to do. Now, some people give out the whole game, right? I know personally on my lives, I don't necessarily hold back, but there is a scarcity kind of vibe. It's not there 24/7. It's there, it's live here for those 20, 30, 40 minutes that I'm live, right? And then it's gone. And unless you paid to get into the community that has the replays, you're not going to find that. So you better turn on the notifications and drop everything you're doing in order to jump on these Instagram lives.
That's good.
So you can give out everything if you want to, as long as you make it in a way that they have to pay attention or it's gone forever. Because now time is the same as money. So, that's how I look at, free and paid content.
Mm-hmm. How have you, I don't know if it's a courage thing. I don't know if it's a confidence thing, but how do you draw the line in conversation? It's one thing to say, okay, I have the business model set up. I think that part for what you have is genius, right? It's it's live, but it's not on demand unless you're subscribed to the community. So it's like that. It's very intentional, right? Like you said, you got to drop what you're doing to catch it. And for that it's free. But if time is money, then eventually you're going to say, okay, I know this is value, so let me go ahead and go into this piece. But how do you do it in conversation? Because I think for service providers now, it's a little bit different to be in conversation with someone. I don't, it's very uncomfortable. Okay, hold up. At this point, I'm gonna have to charge you.
Right.
That's a very weird thing to say. Okay, everything up until this was free.
Yeah.
But now I'm about to invoice you.
Well, so here's the thing. I don't get on the phone with everybody for that reason. I know. Yeah, no. I know me. I'll talk to the point where it's like.
What came to my mind when you said that?
What?
When you did the frame. I ain't even going. I'm just gonna leave it there.
We'll talk about the frame later if we get to it, right? I'm very gullible. Let's just put it that way. But I know once I get somebody on the phone, right? Everything's free game. I'll talk to you, woo, right? So I don't get on the phone with everybody. And I don't meet up with everybody. So there's been lately, people will be saying, yo, I'm in your town. Let's do lunch. Let's do this. That. I'm like, depending who it is, I'm good. Oh, well, I'm there. Da, da, da. I have a program. I'm really trying to learn from you. Absolutely. I got a program. You feel what I'm saying? It's not, it's nothing against them, but I already know what you're trying to do. And 9 out of 10 times, I'm going to give too much game and I cannot control myself. And say, okay, we got to cut this off. And this is where I introduce you to this, that, and I'm not a salesperson.
Right.
I'm not a salesperson. And I don't try to be a salesperson. I know some people are like, everybody's a salesperson. You got to learn that. Shout out to those people who think that. I'm not a salesperson. I'm a server.
That's right.
You feel what I'm saying? So I'm not going to change myself. So I set boundaries. So if I rock with you, it's on my time. Yo, call me, woo. I have no problem with that. And it is what it is. But everybody else, it's like, nah, I don't know you. I don't know you. I appreciate the support. And some would say, yo, do you worry about what they think? Da, da, da. If they don't have enough respect to understand the no, then I don't care what they think. Because there are so many other people that will understand the no because they would want the same respect when it comes to their situation.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Clearly this is hitting because I'm seeing a whole lot of super chats, I'm
Yeah, shout out
seeing,
to everybody hitting the super chats.
yeah, that's crazy. I'm seeing a whole lot of super chats. I'm seeing comments referencing TED Talks. So, okay, good stuff. Good stuff. I'm gonna talk a little bit on the service piece of it, right? Because
Okay.
I think and of course, feel free to give, obviously give your take on these too. But I definitely think that when it comes to services, there are some ways that you can focus on your business model or what you do prior to going to market
Yeah.
that can help alleviate some of these pains, right? And this is strictly a business thing. It's not so much centered around your content. It's not so much centered around how you maybe interact with people, especially if those skills come difficult to you right now, right? Because all of those things can be acquired over time, right? There was a time where I didn't maybe have so much confidence, or I struggled with certain things that as I work through different scenarios, I've been able to build those things up. So I'm just going to say, if you struggle with them yet, right? But from a business model standpoint, if you know that you're you have a servant heart, like you love to give, you struggle charging your worth or telling people, hey, this is going to cost. You can use the free to done for you model. So here's what I mean by that, right? And this is one of the most easiest things to apply from a business standpoint that can help you to share, give, bless the people freely. And then there is a unique, systematic pivot boundary, like you called it, that lets people say, okay, hold up, I'm now entering a new level. So one of those things is to give away your methods for free. I'm talking about literally the entire thing. Especially this is best for those who love to teach. Like you're a student at heart. You love to study. You love to read. You love to talk about some of these concepts and just talk about what you're learning or what you've learned or what you've developed. And you just love to teach or train. Give your stuff away. Go ahead and give it away. But in your business model, create a done for you plan. Meaning that I'm going to give you away and I'm teaching you to do it on your own. But if you do it on your own or try to do it on your own and you're not getting the same type of results that you see me getting, that you see maybe some of my paid clients get, then you might say, well, hey, let me knock on your door. Can you actually do this for me? Can you apply it specifically for my industry, for my business, for my personality, so that it fits the mold of what I'm trying to do? That's where you draw the line between something that's free and something that's paid. Because free, I teach it to you, I give it away, you do it on your own.
Right.
Paid, I do it for you. And that's one of the single most easiest way to differentiate between what is free and what is paid. Free, I'm teaching it to you, I'm giving it to you for you to do it on your own. But if you want me to do it for you, you have to pay for it. Right? So that's one of the easiest ways, again, for those who especially struggle to do it. For those who are a little bit more advanced, and you notice we actually did this with one of our programs some time back, right? Especially if you are generating some sales already, you have some form of momentum, right? You can utilize the free trial strategically. Because there's another portion of business where you are generating sales, but you running in a hamster wheel nonstop. Meaning every single day, you got to run in a hamster wheel to keep the lights on. Because if you don't hit a sales target, or if you don't bring a certain number of revenue into your business, it hurts. You're like, shoot, I felt that. A little jab, little hit right there. That kind of hurts. So you have to start thinking about, okay, the next level of graduation into my business model has to be creating reoccurring revenue. And if you've trained your audience to just pay you once and not need you again, there's nothing wrong with it, but we've all done it. The most important level is figuring out that reoccurring model. And how do you show people enough value? How do you let them notice that this is something that's needed on a month-to-month basis, week-to-week basis, however it is, that they subscribe and agree to give you their money on a reoccurring basis? And this is what I say, you can utilize the free trial accordingly. So one of our programs sometime back, I've always taken pride in retention. Like I love that reoccurring retention model.
Yep.
So we had to relaunch the program because that's what we tend to do every year anyway. And instead of having you pay up front for, say, something that gives you access to us for a longer period of time, I set it up in a way where your initial pay to get into the class or into the program automatically gives you access for a period of 30, 60, or 90 days. So you get to, in a way, think of it as test drive all of the additional resources, all of the additional trainings and things that we have to offer for no commitment. But I'm also deploying like a FOMO strategy, Nick's kind of like, you know, I've heard you mention this concept because I'm giving you everything on a silver platter and I'm giving you time to use it. And then at one moment, I take it away from you.
Facts.
And it's like, oh, hold up. I'm noticing a change. I might even be confident like, okay, I got everything I need. I don't need it no more. But the minute that it's not there for you to get immediate access to it, whenever you want, however you want, and it's no longer there, right? It gives people that like, oh, well, am I missing out on something? Because you're updating the resources or the information or the strategies that the community gets on a reoccurring basis.
Right.
And I only had access to what was available during that period that I was there. So that free trial method backed into a sale that you already get is one of the easiest ways to go from getting paid one time to getting paid multiple times because they just get to test drive it. All right. So those two have been one of the single greatest or easiest concepts to adapt depending on what level somebody is in to make the adjustment from like, okay, free, everything is free, to then recognizing, okay, here's where it gets paid. Or I get paid one time and I'm now trying to graduate to make it on a reoccurring basis. So you almost flip it. You go paid, then free in hopes of getting paid on a reoccurring basis again. You know, like there are ways to play around with it, but it was interesting to see like how people responded to that. Got it, you know?
That's good. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's good. If you're not taking notes, I don't know what else to tell you at this point.
Yeah.
All right. What else we're doing? Most?
Interesting. No,
Maybe
there's
they catch
more.
it.
Yeah, no, there's more pieces to it though. But you know what? Also, side note, just because this person's episode is actually going to get released, we interviewed him on the podcast, and it's coming out.
Yeah.
I think actually next week. Don't quote me on it, but it's coming out soon.
Okay.
But you know, and this is now kind of like cheating into the product side, right?
Yeah.
Or in a way, I still think of it as like a product and a service combined together because they're in the restaurant business or the hospitality business.
Yep.
But I love what's done here, right? And one of the ways to separate the difference between free and paid is to brand a signature experience. Right? Brand a signature experience.
Yep.
So this person, I'm gonna leave them nameless for now until you actually listen to the episode, right? This person grew a very successful and popular restaurant.
Yep.
And then he did one of the most brilliant moves, by the way, that you could do, especially in the hospitality industry, which margins are thin, super thin. He created his seasoning and made it into a product. So, oh, you want this all the time? Well, you can buy the seasoning. I think does Crack Chicken in Michigan do they sell seasoning too?
They do.
Okay, so
Nick bought
similar.
it.
Yeah. So similar to that, right? It's like, oh, you love this so much. Why don't you go ahead and take it home with you? Here, buy the seasoning, right?
I can't. I feel like that's such a try the experience, but it will never
Be the same.
be what you experienced over here. But you can get something. You can remember
Right.
how it tastes but you're always gonna come. I feel like it's such bait. I feel like
really
it's
is.
not. Yeah, no. Go ahead,
really
my bad.
is.
I had to say that.
It really is. It really is. Now I'm with you on that. I don't know that there's ever something that I bought from a particular store
Yeah.
and tried it at home and was like, oh, this is exactly like it is at the restaurant or at the store. It's like,
Right.
it never happens, you know?
Never.
Right. But what I love about the signature experience that he branded is you can buy this, like I said, you could buy the seasoning to cook at home. But if you want the opening ceremony, this unique thing that he does only at the restaurant,
Yeah.
you can't get that by just getting the seasoning. Like
Yeah.
some things are only available in store. And you'll appreciate this. You know who I kind of realized when I thought about it that way, I was like, yo, you know who does this too? Jordan. You ever notice how some of these sneakers that release on Saturdays or a very given day, they will re-release in a specific region and they give you the opportunity to buy them and go pick them up in store?
Oh, you just experienced that on Sneaker app. Okay, I see what you did there.
Well,
I
not
was
just
looking at
now,
those
but I'm
ones.
just saying.
I was looking at those same ones too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But I'm just like, yo.
That was
like,
fresh. That was
I'm like, yo.
that was a fresh example. Literally.
Oh, just today. I was like, oh, I see what y'all doing. I've noticed it before, but it's the first time that I've actually made the connection to see, oh, you're creating or you're branding a specific experience that's only available in stores.
Right.
It's like, oh, you can buy here, but you got to come to the store. And people do that for many different reasons, right? Like, does Jordan Brand or Nike really need to do that? No, but they know that if you come to the store, you're maybe more likely to buy more things. You're more likely to pick up additional clothing or, you know what I'm saying, like additional pieces to it. And that increases their revenue. So like little things like that, man, from service providers to people who are in the product business, you can refine how you utilize your free to paid or paid to free, and because it can go in reverse order, to help grow your business. But content and branding is always backed into that. Like that kind of serves on the back end of it. Do you think some of these trends will change, whether it be for various reasons? Like we were talking about how Facebook ads really aren't a thing anymore, right? Like Apple did that move. They kind of canceled out Facebook's business model to some extent around the ad revenue.
Yep.
And I think it's going to open up more opportunities for influencer marketing to really take off. So it's like, do some of these concepts that you're sharing, do you think they'll ever change or go out of style as some of these changes take place, especially on social media? Like, is the free to paid model or some of these concepts that we're talking about, would they change as influencer marketing gets even more popular? Like, could they still work if there's influencers promoting the free versus you controlling that? Because it's like, there's a cost to that.
No, I don't think it's going to go anywhere because there's still going to be control of your brand. Not everybody's going to get into influencer marketing, right? I said it. We reposted the part where I asked the question of how can, companies build influencers within, right? But I also put the question of how do you become the influencer or how do you grow influencers within your company, right? So with you becoming the influencer, you still have to add value. You still have to provide that free in order to build credibility. And the way that everything is online right now, you're going to have to build credibility. So there has to be a level of value that is given to the audience at all times, regardless if influencer marketing goes up a little bit or a lot of bit, or if there's a whole brand new model that gets there still has to be a level of value, whether it's from a motivation, education, or entertainment way. There has to be a level of value that is given to build a credibility from a brand, for a brand, not from, but for a brand. And then they can go on with the customer journey once that trust is there.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Let's talk a little kind of personal development now, because I know that we typically do this in reverse order. We start, with talking about the person, because we say the most important, I guess you could call it, we cover the person in the personal brand, right? Like,
Yes.
we like to talk to the person because we recognize your brand is only as successful as you are internally, mentally, emotionally, the whole nine. What do you think are some things that are going to help people gain more confidence around putting their stuff out for free? Like, because there's a whole realm of people, or a group of people, that we probably haven't really covered yet, which is the people who don't believe in giving away stuff. And it's like, oh no, I'm not about to give away that stuff for free, even if they've been paid for it. Like, what's what's the thought on that?
That's because they're one-trick ponies, and they don't got anything else, and the problem is you're always going to get beat by that. If you think what you have is so special that you cannot give out that for free, there's somebody who's done it like 9 times already. You're not giving out anything new. I don't care what you think, because especially if it's brand new, we're not going to understand it right away. This is a fact. It's going to take a minute for you to educate us in order for us to become believers that this is what we need. We're not going to pay for that off top. Nah. So we have to be okay with giving things away for free, right? If it builds a stronger customer base, it creates retention, as well as you get less of those, oh, this does not work, this is trash, and you get less of those horrible reviews because you've been giving away this supposedly secret sauce in order for them. If you're already thinking that, you don't have a bigger picture as far as a product or a service, right? You're thinking of that one product. You're thinking of that one service. You're thinking of that one thing only. And you're not thinking about what can cost $2,000, $3,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. You're not thinking of those particular things. You're thinking of this one thing. And if I give this one thing away, I got nothing else. Well, that's not really for you then. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're hanging on to the thing that isn't necessarily going to blow you up. But you found it, and you're like, I must hold it. It's this. No one else has seen it.
Yeah. Let me. It's crazy. I swear to you, I was just thinking about this today, and I was like, an entrepreneur, anyone just online or in business in general, they become extremely dangerous when they recognize you can give it all you got, but it still won't be your best product. That's a different level to come to and accept the fact, like, I'm going to give it all that I got. And at the end of the day, it's still not going to be the best product. And be okay with that. That's like a level of graduation. So I'm counting on the thousands of hours that have been put into this project, 18 months, all of this stuff. And I just had the thought today, and I was like, yo, I've given it all my God. Like I can't come back and say, oh man, I could have worked a little bit harder during this day or this phase or this season. I literally have given it all that I got. But I also am understanding, and I'm okay with that when this thing comes out, it's not going to be perfect, and it probably won't be the best thing yet.
Right.
You know, and it's like, yo, you can become so dangerous when you work on yourself enough to recognize that you're still getting better. Like, I asked that question because I see it from a slightly different perspective. I think that people still are operated from this like lack mentality where they think that they can only come up with one thing. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite quotes that I've learned, like I've loved this quote because it really came to me at a time where I felt like it was made for me. And it said, one is a bad position to be in because it's closest to none.
Yep.
And it's like, yo, if you got one, it can be taken away from you because it's all you got. Mm-hmm. So you want to develop more, right? And it's like when you get on the other side of it and you start thinking through more of like an abundant mentality, and you start developing your instincts and your confidence and just your ability to problem solve and create, you start to say, well, if I did it one time, I can do it a second time. And if I become the right person and focus on my, again, perspective, my mentality, my study habits, and all of these kind of like personal factors that aren't really talked about in the business context because they're not quote unquote professional, mm-hmm. but they probably matter more than some of the professional things that are talked about, is that your instinct starts to let you see, oh, product one helped create this opportunity. Mm-hmm. like you can actually bring something to the market that allows you an opportunity to make more money because your product solved the problem, but it developed a need for somebody else. And here's what I mean by that. You can develop a product, but the consumer likes the product. They bought the product. They use the product, but they're looking for an added convenience. Think of what Uber did, right? They're like, oh, you can get the, I think it's called Uber X or whatever it is. But if you want more convenience, if you want a premium service, if you want a little bit more, a cleaner car or a newer car, then you're going to want to go with Uber Black. Mm. You know, like they brought something to the market that solved the problem, but it created an opportunity. Right. Abundant thinking. Right? And so why are you laughing? Tell me something. I feel like you're thinking something like...
No. You're good. I was like...
I was like, wait. That's a different response. I was expecting something different.
Because I was thinking in my head, super side note, of certain phases of my life and how quickly it changed, where I'm like, I'm not getting Uber Black. I'm only getting Uber XL or whatever. I'm not getting Uber Black. Right. What is happening? Right. And then... now it's like, I may need Uber Black. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was thinking in my head, like, yeah. I'm sorry, you read me very well. Get away from me. Yeah. Go.
I see
go
that.
Talk.
I was just like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, it was a super side note of just like, why would we get Uber Black? Who pays for Uber Black? Why would you do that? And then it's like, oh, you got mad people. You get like, So okay. Anyways, back to what you were saying.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, man. Yo, your mentality will do so much for you. So like I'm just appreciative, man, of a platform where it's cool to throw this stuff in here and talk to people just like their everyday life, you know what I'm saying? Like their person, in addition to the professional stuff.
Big facts. Shout out to Uber Black. Shout out to Uber Black.
Uber Black, first class, all of these other things, man.
Yeah, facts. You know what? No, that's another conversation. We'll leave that for another day.
No,
We'll leave that for another day.
No.
We'll leave that for another day. So here we go. Right? I hate you. Like, no, tell him.
Yeah, no, tell him.
No, it's like the little things. As far as I'm not going to tell them exactly what I wanted to say. I'm flipping to something else. So whatever. So it's the little things where, at the end of the day, when we are battling with this free and paid situation, whether it is from a content standpoint, whether it's from products or services or anything like that, it really just boils down to you not being a struggling brand and not just living off passion, right? Like some people will finally be happy. Like, oh my God, I finally found it. I could do this all day. I love you. Oh my God, this is what I do. This is great. And then mortgages due. And so then you start to resent the thing that you're passionate about. Right?
Damn.
You're like, this isn't for me. Like, and you almost start blaming other people. Why don't you see my value? Why don't you see that what I'm giving is worth something that you would just do that? But it goes back to almost your favorite quote, you get what you negotiate.
I know where you're going. Oh my goodness.
Right. You get what you negotiate. And so your prices, your boundaries are things that you negotiate with yourself. And so, though it's very exciting, especially in the beginning, figuring it out, finally having this brand, finally having this product, this service that you can actually go to market with, it's very exciting. However, it is going to be something that you resent within a year or two if you don't properly plan out your boundaries.
Wow. I thought what you said last week was the realest thing that you've ever said on the live show. I'm going to have to take it back. I don't know. Yo, that makes so much sense. I felt like I was in a therapy session just now. It makes so much sense. I swear that makes so much sense. Because whatever was once new becomes old. Like whatever you were so fascinated, that toy, that car, that whatever, it becomes old and that excitement fades.
Yep.
And it's just, that's just human nature. Like it's not, and I think we almost use some of these things as escapes from our current reality, or like we almost lie to ourselves by saying, oh yeah, me doing this full time would be my perfect world.
Right.
And all it is you making the same mistake in a new opportunity.
Wait, first of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Yeah. Wow. No, you helped me clear it up, Nix. I swear. I've never thought of it that way. It's we lie to ourselves. We think that that's what we're after. We think that's what will solve our problems.
Yeah.
But we're just using it as escape from our current reality. But if we don't change who we are, if we don't change our thinking, if we don't change these things that we're talking about, and you remember at the top of the year, I said one of the things I want to be more consistent at is using the same themes. And there are a couple that have come from the cause so far, or the live so far, where we said, hey, test and try before you teach.
Right.
Like that's part of it. And I think this stuff right here, be consistent in doing the boring stuff. I look at this as boring. Like creating boundaries and recognizing the difference between this and that, to me, that's all boring. Like I kid you not, in my purest essence, I just want to focus on the work. I don't want to stop to talk about, wait. I'm now about to do something that wasn't on the contract. Right. Are you gonna add an amendment in here that updates what we've talked about? Are you going to account for my compensation for this new added responsibilities that you've just added to my role? I just spoke with a good friend of mine today who's a lawyer, and like we're having these conversations, and he was like, yeah, that's common business practice. And I'm like, common where? Common where? Because I didn't learn these lessons. I didn't have no one telling me that that's the way to do it. And it was just like, it was an amazing wake up call, because it's like, we as first generation business owners, we're so excited to get the opportunity to finally fit the mold of what is acceptable in society standards, that we overlook the truest, most fundamental business practices that are boring, but they will come back and bite you in the butt.
Big facts.
Wow.
Big facts.
I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm done. Wow. Wow. That was good. That was good. That was good.
You like?
That was good. That was good, Nix. I'm not going to lie. I'm not even trying to hype you up. Like, I swear, last week when you said what you make in an hour is what you should be paid in 60 seconds, I was like,
Yeah.
What? Nah, what you mean? And then today, nah. You some. Yeah. Nah.
When you're done with your busy season, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no,
But
we almost
anyways,
done.
look. Oh, everybody knows I'm playing. I respect your busy season. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I respect
Thank you so much.
That's why I don't call you. I'd be like,
Yeah.
let me just send you some. Yo, shout out to, I don't know if people have been on the Instagram lately, right? On the Instagram. Wow, that's
okay.
retarded of me. Okay, whatever. My brain juice is not working right now. It's cool. Shout out to Sam, who did an impression of the Nicky and Moose podcast. Yo,
what up, y'all? Priceless.
If you haven't seen it, go on the Instagram. Go check it out. It's a whole vibe. Shout out to Sam. He killed that. He almost got me. He's like right there. It's like right there. It's not there yet.
Close.
Yeah, it's not there yet. But the fact that he tried, I'm just saying. Look at Winton. Yeah, y'all go to raise your prices. I'm just saying. They are raised. I'm just.
So no, they're up.
No, they're up. They're up.
They're up.
I mean, they are up. I'm just saying. But it is what it is. Look, do us a favor. Follow us on Fanbase. We have another clip of the after show that is up right now, but it's only for subscribers. And like I said, we're about to turn that up. So go subscribe now, right? Also Apple Podcasts, if you just want to hear the audio stuff, the after show is on there too. Definitely just continue to share and listen to the podcast. That's truly all we ask, right? It's because of you. We are in multiple countries. Because of you, people know us. So we want to appreciate you and love on you. I am getting text messages about this versus that is no longer on Instagram. And so that's something I may cover on. Yeah, this is we're gonna find out what's happening with this old verses and what's happening. But they're on a big monetizing situation, so I'm not surprised. But right after this, there is going to be a clip from this week's podcast. Is going to go over Snoop Dogg finally owning Death Row. Okay, it's happening right after this live. So stay right here. It's going to redirect you. It's not going to, you don't have to go anywhere. You just chill here. You go, oh my God, I want to see it. And boom, it's going to come up. It's going to be great. We're going to be in the chat. Go do that. Moose, I appreciate you as always.
Yep. Feelings mutual.
Oh, Winton says it's on IG. I don't see it, sir. I don't see. Oh, there it is. I see it. Winton, you are correct. You are correct. See what you did there, because it wasn't on just a while ago. I do like how it looks now. I will say that. But all right, we're out. We're gonna watch his verses. Hopefully you do the same. Hopefully you guys had a great Valentine's Day for those who celebrated it. If you're single, shout out to you in your single life. Hopefully next year it won't be that way. You feel me? You feel me? I'm just saying. It's just saying. It won't be that way next year. But we're out.
Yeah.
You know what we're gonna say?
Later, y'all.